Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Premier League Fantasy Football and welcome to my video. In today's video, I'm going to be looking at the goalkeepers and defender options. I'm going to be looking at some of the best ones. I'm going to look at Fantasy Football Hub website where we'll be looking at all of the stats as well to kind of help us out a lot. Now, if you want to become a Fantasy Football Hub member, there'll be a link in the description below. If you're new to the channel, if you haven't subscribed already, then what are you waiting for? Subscribe and drop a like on the video. Okay, so here we go. So I'm just gonna do this by going with the flow. Okay, gonna go with the flow. I have nothing really planned out. I'm just gonna do this with you guys. I'm just gonna look at some of the stats here, and I know it's not all about the stats, but let's just have a look, right? Let's just have a look at some stuff. So I sorted this out by the most point scored for last season. As you can see, Martinez was the number one goalkeeper that got the most points. As you can see here, you can see the fact that he started off really well last season, then he kind of dropped off. So this is actually quite nice to see. I was an owner of Martinez. He helped me out a lot, got me a lot of points. Got Edison there, Meslier, Lloris, Pope. Really good goalkeepers there that got high amount of points last season. Now, the thing that I wanted to look at is this projected points tool, which is actually really good. As you can see here, for like game week 1, the best goalkeeper to actually go with is Mendy, Alisson, because of their fixtures in game week 1. You know, as you know, Chelsea has got a really good opening fixture against Crystal Palace at home. So if I just change this to like game week 1 to 4, things change a little bit. Edison is there, Mendy's there, Alisson, Martinez. However, we want to go for like some of the cheap players. So if we change this price tag here and we just go for like 5.5, let's just say, right? Martinez being the number one pick at that price tag. That looks like it's going to get the most amount of points for the next 4 fixtures. The one underneath that is actually Sanchez, more cheaper than Martinez, 4.5, and this is why Sanchez is on a lot of people's teams, because of the fixtures that Brighton has. Also at Burnley, Watford at home, Everton at home, Brentford away, Leicester City at home. These are a decent amount of fixtures for Brighton to keep a clean sheet. Underneath that, you've got Leno, then is Lloris, Pope. So there are some interesting picks here, but looks like Martinez and Sanchez is pretty much the ones to kind of go for. Now, you know, we could be wrong. You know, things could change, and they will change. You know, but I think, like, looking at that and looking at like the fixtures for each of these players, it looks good. This is the first things that we kind of looked at. Sanchez was pretty much the first player that was in my team, and it's quite good to look at some of the stats as well to kind of like help our decisions out. Martinez is a little bit more expensive, and as you can see, you know, the first 4 fixtures, it looks really good. And then later on, it becomes a little bit difficult. So if we go back to that page, if I just change, let me just do this, just sort this out. If I change it and I go from, I don't know, game week 8, right? Game week 8, Martinez is still up there, but let's just change this from game week 4 and game week 8. It changes a little bit. As you can see, from game week 4 to game week 8, Leno takes the number 1 spot at that price tag of 5 million. Meslier is second now. Martinez is still there because we know what he can do. You got the Wolves goalkeeper. You got the Brighton goalkeeper still up there. So as you can see, Sanchez is still there hanging around. Now, if I change this price and just go to like the highest price ever, Mendy and Alisson and Edison, all of these expensive goalkeepers are always going to do well because of the teams that they're playing with. So I thought I'll just show you guys these kind of stuff. I think it's quite important that we look at some kind of stats to kind of help our decisions. So I'm not saying that these two is the only one. There are a lot of other players to kind of look for, but I'm just going to pick these out of being the best of the best. And, you know, and value for money, really. Sanchez definitely being 4.5 helps out a lot. So now let's go to the really interesting parts of the stats. And let's look at defenders, because this is where it becomes really, really exciting. So this is, let me show you. So this is all the stats from last season, okay? You got Robertson being number 1, Trent, then it's Cresswell, Wan-Bissaka, Diaz, Chilwell, Cancelo, Target, Dunk, Mings. Really good players. Really, really good players. You know, Robertson and Trent pretty much like ahead of a lot of people out there. You know, there's a lot of things that we're going to be looking at here, you know, like shots. There we go. Trent being 55 shots. And as you can see, the next player is actually Maguire. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, I guess he's in the box all the time and it just misses his chance. He takes a lot of shots, takes a lot of headers. James is there as well. Cancelo being up there. Dunk, which is an interesting one, you know, instead of going for Sanchez, maybe Dunk is the one to kind of go for to bring us a lot more points. Chilwell is a player that I got my eye on, that I think that he could do really well. The fixtures are not looking that great. There's a little bit of a chance for him to be rotated as well, but if he's not, then he's a fantastic pick. That's the things that we need to look at in the pre-season. There's a lot of players here that has done well, but as you can see, Trent, Maguire, Cancelo, Robertson's not on this list because of the shots. Let's just do, I don't know, big chances. Okay, there's a lot of, actually let's not look at big chances. Let's look at key passes. Key passes is quite important for us, for our defenders to get extra points. Trent, sure, is second now, because he creates a lot of chances. Robertson, Cresswell is still up there. Lukadin is on this list now. Cancelo, Kufal is a player that I got my eye on, that is 5 million. James is still there. So, you know, if Reece James, you know, keeps his spot, then he could be the one to kind of go for from Chelsea. You know, these are the things that we need to look at. Matt Target is there. So really good chance. So you guys can go ahead and look at this. You know, Cresswell being the top assist there. Lukadin, Kufal's up there as well. Robertson and Trent. So have a look at this. Become a member and go ahead and look at this all day if you want. So now let's look at, let me just sort this out by points. Let's look at, I don't know, how can we do this? Last season, right? Yeah, I'm just going to do last eight game weeks, okay? Last 8 game weeks of last season, okay? As you can see, Trent being the number 1 player of 54 points. Then it's Lukadin. Then it's Godfrey, Robertson, Coleman. A lot of Everton players here. And, you know, Everton's got a new manager. And this might be the case, you know, of us bringing Lukadin in. But we just need to see what happens in the pre-season. This is why the pre-season is there, to look at who will play. Then we can get these players in. Alioski, Chilwell. Is Chilwell going to be nailed on, you know? Things like this we need to look at. Kufal. Now let's look at, like, I don't know, predicted points, right? For the next three game weeks for this season. Let's just have a look. It's just a little bit of fun. We're just going to have a little bit of a look. I'm just going to go with 7.5. I'm going to go and change this around. I'm just changing the things here. There we go. First game week, like from game week 1 to game week 3, let's see who might have a high chance to actually get a decent amount of points because of the fixtures that they're playing, and the players that they are. As you can see, Trent and Robertson is number 1 and number 2. Then it's Diaz. Van Dijk makes the list. You know, he is, let me just put this light here. Come on. Van Dijk makes the list because he's back from injury. Chilwell is here as well, even though there's some difficult fixtures. But I think this first fixture here against Crystal Palace is going to be a big one. Cancelo is here. Dunk, Shaw. But let's just say we want a little bit of a cheaper option, okay? We want like, I don't know, 5 million for the first 3 fixtures. Let's just have a nice look. Dunk makes the list of being the number 1 like cheap player that could get a decent amount of points. Konsa is here as well. Weltman, Kufal. A lot of Brighton players. Lindelof, if he plays, but I don't think he will. Gomez makes this list. White. Now, let's go a little bit to the 4.5. Okay, a lot of Brighton. Fofana. And to be honest with you, there's not many 4.5 that I would like to go for that could do well. Most, like I think Lamptey is injured, so there might be an issue there. But let's look at like game weeks 1 to 7. A lot of Brighton. Brighton is up there. Brighton is up there for a reason. You know, they got good fixtures. Some Arsenal players are creeping in a little bit. Wolves defenders as well, because of their fixtures are changing around after like game week 3. So these things that we need to look at, I think is quite essential. If we go and change it to like the highest amount, let's just say like this. Trent there, Chilwell is up there in 2nd place. I'm sure this is like prediction of how much points they might get in those amount of game weeks because of those fixtures. You know, this might not always work, you know, but it does help a lot because there's some stats that we might not be able to see when we're watching the match. So yeah, have a look at this. I really like the Dunk option there. So for me, like Trent and Robertson is the ones to kind of go for, but having at least one of them is always good to kind of like start off there. And it all just depends of the money that you have left over. So if you don't want to go for Chilwell because it's expensive, maybe Matt Target, or you can go for Kufal, that is 5 million. Like we saw on the list is Luke Shaw on the list. Maguire getting those lots of shots. I can't believe he actually got that. But Aston Villa players could be the one they're going to go for. So it's good to have a look at this. Maybe later on we might need to kind of bring in Wolves defenders because of these fixtures later on. This is why that tool there, that predictive tool, helps out a lot to kind of help us out that what might happen in the future game weeks. So yeah, I think that is pretty much it. For me, I desperately want at least one Liverpool defender. Kufal is on my radar. I would like Matt Target to kind of cover Martinez points. Chilwell is on my radar, and Diaz. You know, there's a lot of other defenders. To be honest with you, for goalkeepers, there's only a few goalkeepers that we really want. For defenders, there is tons of options. Tons of options. You guys let me know in the comments below which defenders is a must. Which defenders are you looking at? Which ones excite you? You know, let me know which players that you have in your team. Okay, this is a little bit of fun just to see, you know, these stats that I'm going to be looking at for the season to kind of help people out to make their final decisions. Okay. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining. I will, you know, adjust this and make it better. So we just look at the main stats. For now, it's just a little bit of a try just to see how it goes for you guys to have a little bit of fun with. Okay. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining. If you want to become a Fantasy Football Hub member, there'll be a link in the description below. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe and drop a like on the video, as it helps my channel out a lot. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.